Welcome back to our sixth screencast. This is the second of a two-part series on Google Forms. Even though it says here screencast number 5, it's really number 6. This is the form we built together at the end of screencast number 5. And we're really going to just get a little more comfortable with the back end today, and then kind of just take a full look at all of the different views that you have to be familiar with to be able to utilize Google Forms effectively in the classroom. So again, this is just the form as it looks, as we saw last time, with students being asked to fill out the information. So I'm going to leave that screen, and that would then kind of put you in the original editing of the form screen that we went through last time, with all of the different options of adding new pieces and the like. And then we saw the last time the ability to view responses, which is what I want to focus on a little bit more today. I'm going to close that one because we had it open already once. Here we go. So let's take a little longer look at this screen. We have here, again, this is where I had filled out the form with some gibberish, and it all came through in real time. Now, the main thing I'm going to jump to is the tools in the toolbar. Number one, there is an ability to use a script gallery, which we had used in one of our previous screencasts in order to send out a Google Doc to individual students. So, with a form, we may or may not really need that. But remember, this is a Google spreadsheet, which is the back end of a form. So that is there in case that would be useful for you. And then in the form toolbar is really where you have these main options, which is the ones you're going to want to utilize. So if you want to go back to edit it, let's say you had a spelling mistake, or you want to add a question, you just click right there, Form, Edit Form, and that takes you right back into where you were able to edit it. You could click on an individual question and edit it. Also on Form, you could send the form, right, which we pointed out the different ways of doing that last time, either going through it in this way or sharing the live link with your students, or you could go to the live form. So we could go to that, go to live form, grab this URL, copy, Control C, right click, copy, and then paste it wherever it is that I want to send it into an email or post it someplace. And the other one, which is new for today, is to show the summary of responses. So this shows us kind of a full summary of what everyone responded. Now, if I do it now, there's not going to be too much there because there was only one response to this, so that's not really going to be too exciting. It's really not giving me any real information. So just to show you this, I'm going to go back to the teacher training one that we had looked at last time, where there's a lot more information. And first of all, one thing to point out, next to the word form, which was in the other one too, over here, form, is the number of responses that you got, so that you can see just a quick glance at how many people responded. But if we go to form, show summary of responses, so now I have a lot more information that I can really utilize. It shows me the responses to all of the questions and how many people came from each school, and then how many people chose the different dates. Let me just give you a quick look back at what this form asks so you can understand that a little bit better. Go to live form, and people had to put in their name, their school, which date of the EdTech training did they want to come to. We had two options on the 13th and the 20th, and then on each of those days we had the identical program with a session 1, choice of learning how to screencast, and session 2, how to create Google Docs, and then the second section was again screencasting and VoiceThread in this case, and the same options on the 20th. So we basically asked people to choose which ones they wanted. So now if I go back into show summary of responses, now I can see some meaningful data where I can see exactly how many people chose each of the dates, and I can see how many people to expect in each session. So I, as the presenter, or my other presenters for the other sessions, know what to expect in terms of size, and so I see here exactly how many people. There are charts and all kinds of other ways of making this fancier if it need be. My experience has been you don't even need that in many of the cases that we're going to utilize. So again, on the form, we might want to edit the form. we might want to send the form, we might want to go to the live form. Embed form in a web page is a great tool. It's a little bit of an advanced tool, but not so much advanced in Google Forms as much as being, knowledgeable in either your own website or utilizing a learning management system where you can then embed the form right there instead of them having to click a link to the form. But again, we'll leave that for another time. And then show a summary of responses, and we saw this the last time as well, accepting responses. This is just, do you want to end the time when people can submit the information? Because remember, the form that we send out, that link is a live link. It will always be there. So if we want to stop the information from coming in, we would just uncheck that, and now they cannot send it in. So now I'm going to recheck it, accepting responses. All of the other features, which I'm not going to take the time now to go through because they really are basic spreadsheeting, I'm not sure if that's a word, but basic spreadsheet functionality, like if you would use Excel. I'm sure there are great YouTube videos on how to use Excel, and that would really help you here as well. I'm just going to run you through it. I'm not going to teach you how to do it, but in the file, I think we did last time, if I want to share this document with others, let's say this is the back end, and I want to be able to utilize this with another teacher or with my office staff. So I would share like we have in the past. In this case, I've already done that with my office staff, right? So I could add in the name of the people, the email address that I want to be able to share that with. Let's just cancel out of that. Again, I can make a new, right from within here, a new Google Doc. I can open a pre-existing one. I could give it rename it, make a copy like we mentioned. If you want to just take an old form and read new one. And very important, receive revision history. Again, I'm not going to take you through the details here again. We did that on a previous screencast. But in case you have manipulated this data once it's come in and you've maybe deleted it accidentally, so you can go to revision history and bring it back to an earlier point so that you don't lose that data. My personal opinion, I don't know if the people at Google would advocate this the way I do, but I personally suggest keeping this information intact and then maybe resorting it, evaluating it, editing it in either another blank Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet, just so that you don't lose your original data. Again, I'm not sure if that's what the experts would say, but in my humble opinion, that's what I have found to be effective. The other option here is if I want to download this so that I can have a hard electronic copy of it, I can download it as an Excel sheet. Let's just do the quickly, I can download it into a PDF, and again, there's all different options here. I'm going to just click export, and let's see where that opens up for us. Here it's downloading onto my computer. Give it a second, it's not ready yet. I am opening that now. Bear with me as it is formulating. And there you go, in a very user-friendly, if I just want to print it in short. So there are all kinds of different ways of getting this information. I can email it as an attachment to somebody if I should want to do that. And then in your edit is all your basic cut, copy, undo, and so on, deleting different rows, columns. I can insert rows and columns. Again, this is all basic Excel spreadsheet type of functions. You have math functions that you can utilize. You can add charts, images, drawings, scripts. You can format it with all your general bold, italicized, underlines, and so on. The data can be sorted and filtered. The tools we looked at very briefly with the gallery. You can spell check, and the form is the one that we really spent the most time on because that's really the one that you will utilize most. You can, personally, I haven't needed this in a Google form, but you can add comments. So if you want to be, working on this with somebody else, it can be, what do you think about this? Again, I'm not sure if whether or not that it will be so useful for you, and that's just kind of sticking there. We can delete it if we want as well. So just for one quick minute as a summary, we started off in the beginning of the last screencast creating a new form. Okay, I'm going to run through that one more time. Create and share. And I have my questions. First, again, I have to give it a title, and I have to choose my theme. Again, I can change it at any time right over here. I didn't show you that. I can go back there and change it to a different one very easily. I could create my questions. Remember the different types of questions that we have. Text, which is a short text, paragraph, longer place for information, multiple choice, checkboxes, choose from list, and so on. And I can always go back and edit a question, duplicate the question, or delete the question. I can always move around questions. Again, here I only have one question, so I can't do that. And then I would click that first time on, I could view the live form. That would show me the live form. I could click view responses. That will show me the responses, once they come in. And then really, as the teacher, you're moderating this back end to be able to take the information that you've gathered and do something, whatever it is that you would want to do. If it's a homework, to evaluate it. And just keep in mind, with a couple of short questions, you have all of your students' information, all of their questions, multiple choice or fill in or even longer questions, all in one easy to view spreadsheet. And with that, we conclude our second and final screencast on creating, utilizing, and sharing Google Forms.